Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, tonight we gather again for the fourth session of this Ayyuhal Walad, Imam Ghazali. And for the past three sessions we come up to, I think, three advice of Imam Ghazali to his disciple, and now we're going to read perhaps on the fourth advice, and if time permits we go to the fifth advice. So previously, if we check again, we stop at where Imam Hasan al-Basri, I think if you have the book you can refer to page number 10. You have the book, you go in page number 10. We stop at Hasan Basri said, God the Exalted will say to his worshippers on the day of resurrection, O worshippers of mine, enter the garden by mercy and divide it between you according to your deeds. So this is basically the understanding that we had previously when we talked that entering Jannah is not through your rewards. You won't enter Jannah because you have a lot of rewards, ample rewards. No, you enter Jannah because of the mercy of Allah. So that is the concept that we must have in our mind. Because why? The reason is you won't be able to repay what Allah has given you. What Allah has given you, you won't be able to repay it. So because of that, you won't enter Jannah. You enter Jannah out of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And but for you to be stationed in which paradise, whether it is the lowest paradise or it is the highest paradise, it depends on your actions. It depends on your deeds. We have discussed this, what Imam Hasan al-Basri said. So whether you are in the first Jannah, second Jannah, or the Firdaus al-Ala, it depends on your deeds, on your sincere deeds. So now we go to this page 12. Maybe Brother Aris can read it. Your reading is good. Yes, please. O disciple, in so far as you do not act. Number 12, page 12.
O disciple, so far as you do not act, you will not find recompense.
Okay, just hold on. So here, I give you the outline here also, or the summary here. What constitutes an act? Insofar as you do not act, you will not find recompense. What constitutes an act? An act comes from your 7 limbs. So I just leave it blank there, so that for you to write it down yourself. What are the 7 limbs? Can you give me the limbs? Sorry? Mouse? Hands, ears, private parts, 4, eyes, 5. So you have 7, right? We write it down. Yes, why? We write it down here. This is simple, but it's good that we write it down. Eyes, ears, feet, hands, stomach, private parts, and yes, tongue. Sometimes we tend to forget this. Sometimes we tend to forget the tongue. Remember, your tongue is your action. That's what the Prophet says. La man yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyakul khairan aw liyasmut. Aw kama qala. Whoever believes in the hereafter, he either do or does good things or keep silent. Says good things or keep silent. Because why? Because your tongue is accountable. It is accountable. You don't simply talk whenever you like and whatever you want to say. That's wrong. We sometimes we only think that the 6 are the actions that counted. No, it's not 6, it's 7. It is 7. The tongue is counted. It's counted as well. And all these 7 is governed by heart. By heart. So if you want to have your eyes correct, your ears correct, your feet correct, your hands correct, your stomach correct, your private parts correct, your tongue correct, so you correct here. You correct here by purify it. You have to purify it. How you purify it? There are so many ways of purifying it. You're doing good deeds, you will purify it. Amal salih. Others, for example, Allah commands reading Quran, zikir. When you say about zikir, then there are so many things here. Istighfar is zikir, salawat zikir, all these are zikir, tasbih zikir, tahlil zikir. Even some scholars say zikir also reading books. That's general form of zikir, because zikir means remembrance of Allah. So, but to be specific, zikir means these things. So, in order for you to purify your heart, the way is by doing all these good deeds. And heart has so many kinds of heart. You have sick heart. Sick heart. Fi qulubihim marad. The heart is sick. And you have hardened heart. You have all kinds of heart. And you have one heart that Allah wants us to have is qalbun salim. Healthy heart. Healthy heart. There are so many kinds. We read it once we come, when we reach the discussion on the heart, on the spiritual heart. When I say heart, it's not your jantung, that thing, no. This we are talking about spiritual heart. But whether it has connection with the physical heart, yes. Scholars said there is connection between your spiritual heart and your physical heart. Inshallah, when we come to the point, I'll briefly discuss with you what is the meaning of ruh, what is the meaning of qalb, what is the meaning of nafs, what is the meaning of aqal. Actually, all these are referring to the same entity. Okay, sometimes people tend to confuse ruh, aqal, qalb, nafs. These are used interchangeably in Quran, but it refers to certain things or specific actions. Inshallah, when we come to that, we'll discuss it in detail, inshallah. Okay, go on. It is related.
It is related that a man from the tribe of Israel worshipped God and exalted for 70 years. This God exalted wished to show him to the angels, so he sent an angel to him to inform them You are created for worship, and it is incumbent on us to worship Him. When the angel went back and said, "My God, you know best what he said." God, the Exalted, replied, "Since he did not turn away from worshiping us, we will not turn away from him with our grace. Goodness, O angels of mine, I have forgiven him."
Yes. Yes, go. So hold on. So you see, here we see that how Allah SWT wanted to show to the angel. Why Allah did this? To show to the angel that the person, the man, worship him sincerely. He worship him for the sake of Allah. This is, and when Allah SWT, and you see how the adab of the angel, you will never find that the angel, when Allah instructed them to go and do something, then they come to Allah, say, "Oh Allah, blah blah blah." No, they will begin by saying that, "Oh Allah, you know best," because Allah knows already. Allah doesn't need angels to go and look and do this and do that. No, He knows already. But because He wants to show His majesty, His power, His His dominion, His control, then He instruct angel, go and tell this and do and that. And even if the angel doesn't come back to him or doesn't report to him, he knows already what's had happened there. So this is, we have to remember this. Don't think that sometimes people think that, oh, Allah needs this. No, Allah knows everything. Allah knows everything. So when Allah sent the angel to this man who has been worshipping Allah for 70 years, 70 years. Those people during those days, the tribe of Israel, they have long life. They live long, unlike us today. The Prophet Ummah, the Prophet said, my Ummah will live between 60 wa 70, 60 and 70. 60 and 70, some of them more than that, some of them less than that. So that's our age. But during those days, people live 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, the early generation of the people. So this is Ubudiyah. You see, when the angel asked the man, you have been worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 70 years. What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't put you into paradise? So the guy replied, the guy replied, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me to worship Him. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created you except to worship you. I have not created you except to worship you. Jadi, because of that, Allah, the angel reported to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I forgive him. Look, my angel, I forgiven him for his good answer. And you remember this, the story of Rabi'ah Adawiyah. You remember? Do you remember the story of Rabi'ah Adawiyah? Sometimes people tend to attack her. They say that how can a lady telling that I don't want to enter paradise? No. Sometimes people misunderstood her. She never said that I don't want to enter paradise, but it is out of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, when it is famous, it is very popular when she says, if I worship Allah for fear of hellfire, then put me in hellfire. If I worship Allah for the longing of paradise, then don't give me paradise. I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sake of love of Him, because of my love of Him. And some people keep on arguing this, how can you say this is not right, this is bid'ah, this is haram, blah blah blah. When you are in the state of loving someone, whatever comes from your mouth is the words of love. That you are forgiven for that. For example, you have someone loves a lady. I will swim through the sea of fire. Lautan api ku renangi. It doesn't mean that you want to swim. Even in the first place, he doesn't know how to swim. In the ordinary sense, water, sea of water, he doesn't know how to swim. But out of love of the lady, he would say that, I will swim across the sea of fire to get your love. That's metaphorical. That's not the real sense. So likewise, Rabia Adawiyah, when she said that, my love for you is the purpose of my ubudiyah, is the purpose of my worship. So this is the highest purpose of ubudiyah. So Imam Nawawi says, when he discussed on the intentions, when he discussed on the intention in Arba'in an-Nawawi, there are three levels of intention. There are three levels of intentions. Three types. I would rather use the word three types of intention. One is you worship Allah because you fear of the hellfire. This is just like a slave. He does something because he fears the master. He fears the whip from the master. So this is just a slave. Another one, a person who does something because he wants the reward of the paradise. This is Imam Nawawi says, the action or the attitude of a merchant. Traders. So he does something because he knows this, he will get this. He goes for the Salatul Jama'ah, Allah will reward 27 times. So he's calculating, how much reward I get this. Oh, I pray Salatul Duha, I'll get these rewards. I like performing Hajj and, he's calculating this. He's a very calculative person. Another one is an independent. A slave this is what ubudiyah is, love. Someone who does something out of love of Allah. He doesn't matter whether Allah gives him paradise or Allah doesn't put him into paradise. But all these types is still within the range of ikhlas. There's nothing wrong for you to do something because you fear of the hellfire. It is ikhlas. Why? Because you have not seen the hellfire in the first place. But you believe in the hellfire, the existence of the hellfire. Just likewise, is it okay if you do something because you want the rewards, you want the paradise, you want the angels, you want the bidadari? What's a bidadari in English? You want all the rewards in the paradise, you want the nice food in paradise. So because of that, you do it. You do the actions. All the good deeds you do it. That's perfectly fine. Initially, all of us are at that stage. Traders. Traders. All of us are at that stage. It's okay. Go ahead. But eventually, try to upgrade to this level of love of Allah, pleasure of Allah. What you are doing is for the sake of pleasure of Allah. You are seeking the pleasure of Allah. That is the highest form of ibadah. That is the highest form of ibadah. So this guy, this man from the tribe of Israel, he worshipped Allah for the sake of Allah. And he knows very well that his existence is to worship him, is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created you and jinn except to worship him. If you do something, because for your deeds to be accepted, you have to be ikhlas. Okay? Sincere. For the sake of Allah. When we say for the sake of Allah, okay, when you say for the sake of Allah, when you say for the sake of Allah, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say for the sake of Allah? This is ikhlas, right? Huh? Do you understand? When you say for the sake of Allah, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah, I'm giving sadaqah for the sake of Allah, I'm helping people for the sake of Allah, what do you mean? It's ikhlas. You do it, ikhlas for the sake of Allah. But your ikhlas, what is your ikhlas actually you are asking for? You are asking for your ikhlas is one, you may be because you do it, you want to enter paradise. Right? You want to enter paradise. You want to enter paradise. In the hereafter, you want to enter paradise. That's why you do it. You give charity, you give that, you do this. I give class tonight. Because I hope that this is going to be counted as my good deeds in the hereafter. It's my ilmu yantafi'u bihi. Knowledge, beneficial knowledge. Or you do something because you fear. Fear of hellfire. Why you pray, for example? Why you pray? Why do you pray? Because you fear if you don't pray, Allah will put you in hellfire. So you pray. Allah will punish you. So you pray. So all this is considered ikhlas. Meaning it's alright. If you have that kind of feeling in your heart when you perform something, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Apart from this, then cannot. You're giving charity because you want people to say that you are a very generous person. That's not ikhlas anymore. You understand? What's the difference? Only these three are considered as ikhlas. Love. Love of Allah. Or pleasure of Allah. Whatever. Only these are considered as ikhlas. You want people to say you are generous. You want people to say you are pious. You want people to say you are a very nice person. You want people, you want this, you want that. You want people to say, all those are not ikhlas. All those are not counted. No matter how much you give donation, 1 million donation, no. All those are not counted. It's useless. It is in vain. It is futile. No. But if you do because of paradise, because I want to have paradise, I want to have the highest paradise, Jannatul Firdausi A'la, it's okay. Go ahead. Why you perform prayer? Why you pray a lot of this? I fear that Allah SWT will punish me. Go ahead. That's fine. But the highest is, you do something not because of paradise, not because of hellfire, but because of Allah SWT, because of your ubudiyah, your true servanthood of Allah SWT. You feel that you are obliged to worship Allah SWT because you are created for it. You are created to worship Him. That's your purpose of your creation. Then that is the highest degree of sincerity. Wallahu a'lam. Go on. So where are we now?
God's messenger, God bless him and give him peace, said, call yourselves to account before you are called to account, and weigh up to your deeds before they are weighed to you. And Ali, may God be pleased with him, said, whoso believes that he will attain his goal without effort is a wishful thinker. And whoso believes he will reach his goal by the expanding of effort is presumptuous. Al-Hassan, may God the Exalted be merciful to him, said, seeking the garden without action is a sin. And he said, an indication of the true state of affairs is to give up paying attention to action, not to give up action. And the messenger of God bless him and give him peace, said, the astute man is one who passes judgment on himself and works for that is after death, and works for what is after death. And the fool is one who pursues vain pleasures and counsel God to be exalted to realize his wishes.
Okay, thank you, Brother Harris. And this is not the saying of the Prophet, according to scholars. It is a saying of Umar al-Faruq. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu says, Sayyidina Umar says, where is it? Hasibu anfusakum qabla an tuhasabu. Call yourself to account before you are called to account. وَزِنُوا أَعْمَالَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُوزَنُوا عَلَيْكُمْ. And weigh up your deeds before they are weighed for you. What does it mean? This is muhasabah. This is retrospection. Muhasabah. What does it mean, muhasabah? You do calculation, you retrospect your life. What have you done in this world before Allah SWT show you what you have done, and at that point of time you have no way return. You have no way to come back to this world. So Umar said, you have to do it yourself before Allah SWT do it for you in the hereafter. Before Allah SWT weigh your deeds and your actions, you have to weigh it yourself. Evaluate yourself. Calculate yourself. Whether you are among those who are successful or perish in the hereafter. You have to do it. Because once you are in the court of Allah SWT, that will be too late for you. So you do it yourself. If, for example, you have missed prayers when you were young, after your puberty, after your bulugh, you missed so many prayers, then you better do qada now. Sometimes when we were young, we took lightly the obligation of prayers. We miss Zuhur, we miss Subuh, especially Subuh. Subuh especially. And sometimes Aisha also. So you better make qada. Because in the hereafter, when Allah SWT judge you since your puberty until your death, and He discovered that these many months and many years and many days that you have left your prayers, then you'll be in trouble. Then you'll be in trouble. So we don't want to be in that kind of situation. So Sayyidina Umar is reported that every night he would whip his feet. I don't know. That's a story. That's a hikayah, anecdote. He would whip his feet. Oh Umar, why did you do this? It's just a kind of light punishment to himself. Umar, you should not have done this, Umar. Why Umar, you do this, Umar? Scold himself. It's a kind of muhasabah, retrospection. Oh Umar, what will happen if a sheep in the desert died and you are responsible, you are Khalifa, you are Amirul Mu'minin, you are responsible, what will you answer to Allah? Allah asks you, the sheep and those animals are under your kingdom, under your protection, and you are Amirul Mu'minin. So he has this kind of muhasabah. He reflects himself. We tend to reflect on others. Oh, this guy is a ponder, this guy is bakhil, greedy, this guy. But we seldom look at ourselves. That's not good. That's not the attitude. We have to look at ourselves before we look at others. Don't bother about others. Just concentrate on yourself. So I put there in your notes there, in your summary, what the scholars have mentioned about number 3 there, retrospection. There are 2 types of retrospection. There are two types of muhasabah. One is before you're performing an act. We normally think that retrospection or muhasabah after our performance of the act. No. Ibn Abbas said, Allah will bless whoever before he does something, he stop and think and reflect and ponder whether what he's going to do is in line of the teachings of Allah and Prophet or against the teaching of Allah. So before you enter into something, before you commit something, before your 7 limbs, see, we are talking about act, these 7 limbs, before your 7 limbs perform something, you have to think that whether this is permissible or forbidden. This is haram or not haram. Is it okay or not okay? If it is okay, go ahead. If it is not okay, then you stop. Don't do it. And Imam Ghazali said, Imam Hassan al-Basri, Imam Ibn Abbas says, Allah will bless whoever stops before entering into something, into an action, and ponder whether this is haram or halal. This is good or this is bad. This is, Allah likes this or Allah will get angry at him if he does this thing. So that is one thing you have to do. Reflect the hukum and sincere when you want to enter into that action, donation and whatever, and following the Prophet's way. You follow the Prophet's way. Don't do something according to your own way. Do it according to the Prophet way. Whatever the Prophet teaches us to do, and follow the ways. You cannot do something according to your own thinking. Muraqabah, mindful. Whenever you do something, be mindful that Allah is watching over you. Allah is watching you. And last, before you do it, have the feeling that you are incapable of doing it without Allah's blessing, without Allah's giving you the energy, the qudrah. You remember when we hear the azan, Hayya ala salah, what do we answer? La hawla wa la quwwata illa. What does it mean? Exactly. You don't have the power. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil alim. I don't have the power except the power Allah gave me. Allah gave me, then I can walk to the mosque. If Allah doesn't give me, then I don't have the power. La hawla. You feel the taqsir, the incapability, that you don't have the power. The energy all given by Allah SWT, not by your own choice. Because if Allah doesn't want to give the energy, then you don't have that. And after you're performing the act, then you have to reflect, you have to muhasabah. Should I have done it or should I have left it? Reflect and ponder. If you feel that you should have left it, you should not have done it, then next time, don't do it. And whatever you have done, if it was wrong, then you make istighfar and tawbah. Okay? Should have done it better than that. Then if you realize that you should have done better, then next time try to do better. And last one, Fadal, please. Last one is, should I follow with another action, another deeds? For example, if you pray Salatul Fard, you pray, you finish your prayers, and you reflect and ponder. There is Qabliyah, there is Ba'diyah after the prayer. There is Salatul Ba'diyah, Salat after the prayer. Then I should do this. Then you do it. That's kind of reflection. Because why? Because we want to be a good person. We want to be a better person than before. And now we come to the last portion of it. The Prophet ﷺ says, Al-kayyisu man dana nafsahu wa amila lima ba'da al-maut. Wal-ahmaqu man ittaba' hawahu wa tamanna 'ala Allah ta'ala al-amani. The astute man is one who passes judgment on himself and works for what is after death. And the fool is one who pursues vain pleasures and counts on God the Exalted to realize his wishes. This is between wise man and fool man. Wise. Someone who is wise is someone who reflects on what he's doing and try to do it better. And he wants to do it better. He wants to prepare himself for his life after death. That is someone wise. We have in Malay, we call it bijaksana. You know, bijaksana, I heard this from that, Ustaz Paharo. I think he was the first perhaps to use this one. We have bijaksana. Bijaksana, it refers to, because we have that sana. Sana means there. You don't have bijak sini. You don't have the word bijak sini. I'm sorry if you don't understand. You understand this. You've been living here for so we have that bijaksana. It refers, our early generation is very smart, you know. They use the word bijaksana. Sana there refers to the hereafter. Someone who is wise is someone who is bijaksana. Someone who is thinking far ahead after the hereafter, after his death. He's not only smart while he's living in this world, but he's smart until after his death. What is his situation after his death? That is the smartest person. The Prophet said the smartest person is someone who prepares himself after his death. Because our life is, the Prophet says our life is 60, 70. You prepare so much for your life, you go. How long you want to stay here? 100 years? At one point of time, you will go. Remember, now we observe people surrounding us being prayed, washed, buried, tanam, all those. We send them to the graveyard. One time there will be our turn to be carried, to be prayed, to be bathed. There will come the time. So the cleverest person, the Prophet said, Al-Kayyisu man dana nafsahu, person who reflects on himself, what will be his situation in the hereafter. What will be his nasib, his fate in the hereafter, after his death. And, there's an end. And he works, وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ. He works to prepare himself for that world. That's most important. It's not that you are thinking, how I'm going to be in the health, in the hereafter. I hope that I'll be fine. I hope that I'll be enter Jannah. I hope that in the grave there will be lights in the grave. The grave will be spacious for me. Blah 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 blah. And then what do? Nothing. That's wishful thinking. Useless. That's the prophecy. Al-ahmaqu. On the opposite, someone who is longing for blissful life in the hereafter, but he does nothing in this world. That's stupidity. That's someone who's foolish, idiot, and whatever you want to call it. But someone who's smart, clever, he prepares himself for that life. Okay, I think I list down here what I've got from some scholars here. Life is not free. Life is not free to use. Will be accountable. Yeah? Your life here is not free. Treat your life as capital. You know, if you are a trader, you know that the importance of capital, modal, the importance of capital. You won't waste your capital. People give you 100,000 to invest on your business. But once you get a loan, you get 100,000, 200,000, 1 million, whatever, how much people give you for the loan, you must make full use of that loan. Even every single penny, you must count it, so that it can give you good return. It can give you profits out of that capital. So, what is your capital? What is our capital? Imam Ghazali said, your capital is your life. Your capital is your time in this world. That is your capital now. I think we mentioned last time, right? On the first advice. So your time is your capital. So make full use of your time now. Make full use of your capital now, so that in the hereafter you will see the profits for your business in this world. How you make full use of your life here, then you will see it, the profit. The profit not in this world, you won't be able to see the profits here. How much returns that you get from your investment in this world, you won't see it here. But you will see the result of your time spent and everything, your life, your good deeds and everything here. You will see it in the hereafter. How much you get it. So, time in this world, 60, 70, every day, his life is shortened. It's true. Best person, long life, full with good deeds. This is what the Prophet says. The best person is someone, Allah gave him long life, and he full his long life with good deeds. His life is long, 100 years, whatever, but he fill his life with all good deeds. And the worst person is someone who lives long, but all his time is rubbish, making all disobedient ma'asiyah activities to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And lastly, I think let us go to the last one, so that we finish with this one. The advice number 5. Go ahead. Number 11, right? Page 11. Page what? Page 12. Go ahead. Sorry, page 12, page 13, 14. Yeah, this is very small, short one. We can finish it very fast. Go ahead.
O disciple, how many nights have you spent rehearsing your learning, reading books, and providing yourselves with sleep? I don't know what the motive was in this. If it was winning the goods of the world, the lure of its vanities, gaining its honors, and gain glory, the debit of your associates and peers, woe to you and woe again. But if your objective in this was the revival of the Prophet's law, God bless him and give him peace, the cultivation of the character and breaking of the soul that inciteth to evil, blessing upon you and blessing again. He has told the truth who spoke the verse. Sleeplessness of the eye, but for thy sake is vain, and a crime, but for thy loss and name.
So this is nothing but sincerity, true intention. True intention. He's talking to his disciple. His disciple is a student of knowledge. So he asked his student of knowledge, he asked his disciple, you wake up at night, what your intention was? What was your intention? You wake up every night, you wake up. You read books, you make revisions, you memorize this, you memorize that. What was your intention of doing all those things? If your motive was to winning goods of the world, so when you say winning the goods of the world, the allure of its vanity, getting its honors, all those kinds are not sincere. All those are not sincere. The Prophet says, I think we mentioned in previous class, whoever learns knowledge for the sake of showing off before the ignorant people. You want to show off. when you are among the ignorant, among the public mass, among the people on the street, you want to show off that I'm alim, I'm knowledgeable. Or when you are among the scholars, you want to feel that you are at par, you are at the same level with them. Or you want people to respect you because you are ustaz, you are sheikh, you want people to kiss your hands, you want people to hug you, you want people to do all kind of things to you. You want people to put you on chair like this, high chair, for example. I'm not talking about those who sit here. I'm talking, you want people to glorify you. Huh? So the Prophet said, this kind of intention will put you in hellfire. This kind of intention will put you in hellfire. You must not have that kind of intention. What intention you should have is to revive the Prophet's law, to cultivate your character, breaking the soul to evil. Okay? All these are the intention that you should have when you seek knowledge. Last time I mentioned, and again tonight I'll repeat it. You seek knowledge, first and foremost is to be a good person, to be a good man yourself. The outcome of education is yourself. It's not your certificate. Now we are in the period of graduation ceremony. Right? All universities in our country now, they have convocation. Yeah? That is not the purpose of education for you to have certificate. No. The purpose of education in Islam is for you to be a good person. You to be a good person. The result of education is you. You. Yourself. Yourself. This is what Prof. Naqib Al-Atas always mentions. The purpose of education in Islam is to be a good man. You know why? Because we have good men. This is the purpose of education in Islam. Because why? If you are a good man, you are a good staff. You are a good husband. You are a good wife. You are a good son. You are good, everything you are good. But now, the purpose of education now, in all countries in the world, is not to produce good men, but to produce what? To produce good citizen, true, good workers. Okay, this is the purpose of education now. This is called society-centered. This is called person-centered. Because they want to have good citizen. They want to have good worker. Industry needs this. So they come up with curriculum in order to come up with this good citizen. But once you are good citizen, you are good worker, do you think that they will also be good staff, good husband, good wife, good son? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So education must produce good men. This is person-centered, and this is the purpose of education for perhaps almost all religious education, religious-based education. Since the Confucius and Confucius and everything, they go for person-centered. When you say person-centered, what do you expect? You expect this is the product, this is the outcome, not the certificate. This one. So if you are expecting for this, then you will face all the problems in the society. Because our education never focus on producing good men. Producing good men. Man that knows his purpose of existence. Man that knows why he's sent in this world. So that is what we are failures. Okay. And then what else? Yeah, true intention. True intention, we mentioned before. Here we just talk about to have good character. And then last one is, for the sake of Allah, remove yourself from ignorance and remove others. This is the intention that you should have. When you seek knowledge, knowledge is to be yourself good one. Your character, you'll be a good person, one thing, and it removes you from ignorance. Now you are a knowledgeable person that you know. So it's still you. You have good character, you'll be a good person, you are knowledgeable, but what about society? You have to remove them also from ignorance. So that's part of your giving back to society. That is your responsibility towards society. So remove them from ignorance as well. So that kind of intention that you have is considered as sincere intention. So you must have that kind of intention. Other than that, you want to be glorified, you want people to praise you, you want people to say you are alim, you are the most alim person on earth, you are the most alim person in Malaysia. That is not acceptable. That is haram. That is haram. So you never want to be there. Okay? I think that's all. We don't have to prolong our class, as we mentioned. 1 hour, 1.5 hours is enough. Little, yeah, we can enjoy the curry puff there. We can have small classes. We can have a 1 hour class, but we benefit from that class. We don't have to prolong class. Everyone is tired. We are working tomorrow, and I hope this is benefit you also, the summary that I made. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.